Ni hao. I am Professor Michael Mainelli, Executive Chairman of the ZIEN Group and an Alderman and Sheriff of the City of London this year. I was very pleased to be asked to join your meeting and offer greetings from London to our friends in Beijing. I would like to talk briefly about smart centers and smart finance by covering two topics. First, the work of the ZIEN Group on measuring financial centers, and second, some thoughts on fintech and financial security. ZIEN is the City of London's leading commercial think tank. We help organizations make better choices. Our clients consider us a business that spots, solves, and acts. Our name combines Zen and Yen, a philosophical desire and purpose to improve. We are particularly involved in finance and technology. We conduct and publish research on the future of finance. We conduct and publish research into such technology matters as quantum computing and smart ledgers, also known as blockchains. Combined, we explore how technology and finance can help to solve the big issues faced by our world and our society. We publish 3 indices measuring financial and commercial center performance: the Global Financial Centers Index, the Smart Centers Index, which looks at centers to measure their performance in the fields of innovation, technology, and science, and the Global Green Finance Index. Turning to the Global Financial Centers Index, we started work on the index in 2005 and published the index openly in 2007. It has been published continuously every 6 months since 2007 in March and September. When we began in 2005, we only rated 46 financial centers. In the latest edition, GFCI 28, published in March 2020, we rated 111 financial centers, including 12 Chinese centers. The biggest story over 15 years has been the phenomenal improvement in the leading Asia-Pacific centers, which we have been privileged to watch. I first went to China in 1983, and I am constantly impressed with the wonderful transformations since then. The China Development Institute has become our valued partner in the production of the Global Financial Centers Index. 4 of the top 10 places in the index ranking are occupied by Chinese centers: Shanghai, Hong Kong, Beijing, and Shenzhen. Now, in addition to the main ranking of financial centers, we have included in the last 3 editions of the GFCI a ranking of financial centers in terms of fintech. In these rankings, Chinese centers take 5 of the top 10 places, with Beijing and Shanghai taking 2nd and 3rd place, just after New York and ahead of London. In our research, we asked finance professionals what factors are most important in the development of a fintech center. And the top answer is access to finance, followed very closely by the availability of skilled staff, and then the creation of a cluster which supports innovation, the ICT infrastructure, and regulatory support. The fintech issues that centers need to get right are: first, ensuring that financial systems are in place to provide finance for startups and for the further phases of development in fintech. Second, to invest in relevant education to create a fintech infrastructure, ensuring that you have highly skilled people in technology, innovation, and finance available to your local economy. Third, ensuring that people and businesses are clustered to create an innovative culture. And fourth, making sure that the regulatory system is appropriate, providing incentives while not being too costly. Now, alongside the Global Financial Centers Index, we publish the Smart Centers Index. This tracks the development of technology centers across the world in their support for readiness in new technology applications, including fintech, but going well beyond into the wider technologies of the hard and soft sciences, as well as academic disciplines and intellectual property creation. In the Smart Centers Index, we track 3 dimensions that are important to the development of technology centers. The first is innovation support, the way in which regulation and support for innovation and technology is provided by the commercial ecosystem. The second is creative intensity, how far technology and innovation are embedded in the local economy, as opposed to being a fringe activity. And third, delivery capability, how good is the quality of technology and innovation work being undertaken in the center. Now, we track each of these dimensions in creating the Smart Centers Index. In the first edition of the index, London and New York headed the rankings. We expect, though, Asian and Chinese centers to feature more prominently as time goes on, particularly as more respondents become better aware of the significant leaps Chinese centers have made across the board in technology. In our innovation support dimension, we include regulatory approaches and the support they offer to innovation. The way in which economic, social, and institutional regulations are constructed can have a strong effect either to encourage or to stifle innovation. The aim is to hit the sweet spot where incentives and compliance costs are well balanced. It is important to balance a high cost of compliance and an overly regulated sector against a low cost of compliance and a poorly regarded sector. I would like to close by bringing finance and technology together. One of the themes of my time as sheriff has been to work on strengthening and simplifying anti-money laundering, an important part of financial security. We asked financial practitioners which approaches were most effective in countering money laundering. Looking at areas most highly rated by finance professionals, all are prime candidates for technological solutions, whether dealing with identity, transactions, or information exchange and data sharing. We at ZIEN have done work on the future of distributed ledger technology and the use of these smart ledgers to provide independent, authoritative timestamping and thus help firms manage safely financial transactions. Along with mobile payments and easy-to-access asset management, insurance, and innovative financial instruments, we need to ensure that we have trusted solutions that work across financial and geographic boundaries. Whether this involves standardizing technology approaches to fintech or setting data standards that allow interoperability, there's a growing need for cooperation and leadership in this area. Financial security underpins all of financial technology, going beyond cybersecurity to include financial risk control, operational risk control, and fraud prevention, whether telecom or internet. I would like to offer my thanks for this opportunity to contribute to your discussions remotely today and to invite participants to contact us here at ZIEN if you are interested in collaboration in technology and finance. 谢谢，再见。